this is the village of Deir Yassin, and in April of 1948, it was one of the villages in the district of Jerusalem where the Israeli militias, with the help of the British Army, made an example of, just to terrorize the district, the whole district, or that of Jerusalem, where they went in and massacred hundreds of people in Deir Yassin to terrorize all the villages nearby. And where my parents came from, and my grandparents from the village of Malha, it's about half a mile from the Deir Yassin. My grandparents still remember the shooting, the crying, the screaming, and that's what forced them to move, to leave their village and run to the hills, because they knew that what happened in Deir Yassin will be happening in Malha and Walaja and Bisa and other villages near Deir Yassin. So unfortunately what the Israeli militias did, the Jewish militias at the time, who were well armed and well funded by the British and other Western countries, they went to every district almost in Palestine, in the north and the south, and they committed few massacres to show to terrorize the population and force them to leave their villages. Many of them unfortunately ended up leaving because of this. Some stayed and ended up being killed by those militias. But what you see here, and when you go around, you will see that the Palestinian Nakba did not happen over just a week or two or a month or two. The Palestinian catastrophe, or Nakba, happened over years. It started, yes, officially in the 1947, but it continued for 3 or 4 years, where some of these villagers who decided to stay for a month or two after the creation of the state of Israel, or before that led to it, they ended up being attacked by those militias and being killed in the middle of 1948. And then in 49 there were other massacres. And this is what we try to get people to see, that by showing them the dates of these massacres and the destructions of these towns, that the Palestinian catastrophe happened over 5 or 6 years until the mid-1950s, where things became kind of semi-permanent, where everybody who left, the Palestinians who were forced out of their villages, were kept out, whether in Lebanon or Syria or Egypt, and people who were forced to go to the West Bank, they were forced to stay, and it became a permanent situation for them, where they ended up living in refugee camps. And that's what happened with my family. They were forced out of the village. They went to a site near Bethlehem, and that site became a refugee camp, and I was born in that refugee camp 20 years later, after the creation of the state of Israel, and the refugee camp still exists there near Bethlehem.